Hi, Sylvia and Mary Lou. Just going to share to my page, and we'll see if we get a few more people on this afternoon. Thanks so much for sharing, Mary Lou. I appreciate it. Hello on this sunny, cold day in Liberty, Indiana. Sylvia, we've got the same weather here. It's bright and beautiful, but cold. In fact, my fingers are cold. I had a dentist appointment this morning. Second crown I've had to get put on since the first of the year, so kind of sore, but usually they've got this wall of windows, but what I've learned is if you go first thing in the morning, like I did for this appointment and my appointment last month, it's cold in there. So, and they always offer a blanket. I'm like, no. Today I had to ask for a blanket while I was at the dentist's office. But as soon as the sun would come around to the that side of the building, because I've been there in the afternoon and it's very warm then. But yeah, I still need to get out and take my walk today. And we'll do that right after the Facebook Live so I can enjoy the sunshine as well. Hi, Kathy Crumlish. Hi, Amy. Nice to have you. Hi, Susan. Okay, and I'm just going to preface by saying I'm a little bit out of it after being at the dentist for 2 hours and just kind of a little sore and whatever, but I am perfectly fine. And it just, you know how it is. It just takes a little while. So I feel a little bit out of sorts, but did not want to cancel Facebook Live. Hello, Holly. Welcome. Glad you're here. Hi, Amy. I think I said hello to everybody. Some of you might have gotten more than one hello because I wasn't keeping track in my head. But anyways, today I'm going to be sharing a fun fold with you that I have used in the past. Very similar. I've done some things very similar to this in the past. And this came from my good friend, Joyce Wilhelm. She has a granddaughter, her oldest grandchild, I believe is student teaching this year and graduating from college with an education degree. So we always need more good teachers, and I'm sure that Megan is going to be phenomenal. And as many of you know, I was once a teacher, just for a few years before I had my first daughter, but my oldest daughter, Andrea, is a teacher. She's in her 6th year. So I know lots of teachers and very appreciative and understand so much of what teachers do, but it's really been tough on teachers over the last year and a half. You know, kind of everybody, but teachers, there's a special place in heaven for teachers, I believe. And it's been really tough. Many of them are teaching in person and remotely, and just have a lot of extra responsibilities on hand due to COVID concerns. So I just love that I got this card from my friend Joyce Wilhelm, and her note, I've got it sitting right here, thanking me for all I've taught her, and she just wanted to send me happy mail for being her, she said, favorite Stampin' Up! Teacher. So I really appreciate that. So I'm not going to do a teacher theme card today because I'm saving that for a little bit later. I've got some other projects I'm working on for teacher appreciation. So I'll be using this Apple Builder punch at a later time. But today I decided I would pull something else from our annual catalog, and that is the Timeless Tulips stamp set and the Tulip Builder punch. These have been around for a while, but you know, when we get a holiday catalog and then celebration and a mini catalog, it's easy to forget some of our wonderful products from the annual catalog. I don't know about you. I've enjoyed the winter. I've enjoyed the snow, but give me a 61-degree day like yesterday when it feels like spring and it starts to warm up and you open your patio door for a couple of hours and enjoy the fresh air and you hear the birds. I'm all ready for spring. So, and I have a feeling we're going to get some cold blasts of winter before we get our real spring. But yesterday, I had kind of a full weekend, busy doing a lot of different things. And I did go to Cincinnati to visit my Emily yesterday. We had a nice afternoon together. But one of the things I did on Saturday, basically because I was avoiding doing my taxes, took a trip to Hobby Lobby and bought a few things to make a spring wreath for my front door. So between that and the 61 degrees in Ohio yesterday and the warm sunshine today, I decided we need a spring craft. So, and I will take a picture of that wreath. It's already hung on my front door, but I will take a picture of that this afternoon after my Facebook Live and post it, because I know many of you think I stamp and I paper craft and I don't do anything else. And yet there are other activities and crafts I enjoyed too. Oh, baking. I even baked cookies yesterday, so I'd have a little something to take Emily, and I'll drop some off at my sister's house a little bit later too, and hopefully get to see Andrea and John this week and take them some cookies. So busy, but thank you for accommodating the time change today due to my dentist appointment. But let's get to some card making right now. So I'm going to flip my camera around. It'll just take me a few seconds, and then we'll get started making this spring fun fold card. A brand new month. You know the saying, March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb. Well, I don't know if I can say that's true today. It's kind of cold and brisk, but it is about 42, 45 degrees in central Ohio, and the sky is blue and the sun is shining. So I will take it. But anyways, so for, picture's a little wonky here. So for today, I've chosen the Timeless Tulip stamp set and the coordinating Tulip Builder Punch, but I thought I would just open up my catalog and show you some of the other fun spring warm weather stamp sets that are in our annual catalog. Because like I said, a lot of times we just get busy with our mini catalogs and we forget all the wonderful products that are in here. So, oh, thanks, Tammy. My gardens are always so pretty. I try to make it that. In fact, I was tempted today just to go outside and play in the dirt because I bought bulbs in the fall that never got planted. And I'm thinking I should just go out there and plant them today. If they don't come up this year, which I still think they will, late, but I think they will. I've done that once before. Planted bulbs in March, or in February actually. But if they don't come up this year, they would come up next year. So I might get out and do that. And believe it or not, I still have pansies in my front garden from the very first year that I lived here. I've lived here 2.5 years. So it's amazing. And they keep coming back. So I've got some bits of yellow and purple outside already. I love it. Okay, notice it's this stamp set, it's not just about the tulips, but look at all the wonderful sentiments in our life. Or in our life. I'm reading this one. All the wonderful sentiments in the stamp set. So really love it. And look at this one. May your memories of yesterday comfort you today. What a nice way to offer your sympathy to somebody with a saying like that. And of course, we've got Mother's Day and Easter holidays in there as well. So I like the nice variety of sentiments in this stamp set. So I'm going to ask for your help. I'm pulling my 6x6 Designer Series paper packs, and I think we should work with, I've got a package of the subtles, and I've got a package of the brights here. So what do you think it should be? The brights on my left hand or the subtles in my right hand? You choose, and then we'll go from there. As we do this, I'll also show you, Kathy Crumlish says brights, Tammy says brights, you got it, ladies. Sharon says brights, wow, you're all in agreement. Alice too, okay, awesome, awesome. So from now, and you don't have to name the Stampin' Up! Color specifically, but of course it would make my day if you did. Which colors should we use in here? We've got Gorgeous Grape, Bermuda Bay, what is that, Flirty Flamingo. I don't want to use that one. Don't want to use the orange. Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight. Oh, I love the Granny Apple Green. And then we've got Pacific Point and Coastal Cabana. So you tell me. I'm going to, I'm thinking I like the green, this Granny Apple Green for the leaves. You tell me what colors you like for the tulip. And as we make this together, I will be showing you, just like I did last week, how I actually case a card. When somebody sends one to me and I remake it, I'll just go through with you step by step how I measure and case, because you know what case means. Copy and share everything. Copy and share everything. So we've got Granny Apple Green and Gorgeous Grape was the first one. And then Diane says Melon Mambo and the yellow. So Melon Mambo and some Daffodil Delight. We'll pull those out now too if we have time, and I can make you a second card. I would love to do that. Be sure and comment throughout the video, because somebody will win the card I make today, or a card I make today if I make more than one. So let's start with our card base. And I think for this, that I would like to make my card base from the Granny Apple Green. Now I'm going to go ahead and measure this. It's 4 1/4 inches wide by 8 1/4. But I'm going to tell you something. Joyce started with 4 1/4 by 11 inches of her cardstock. You don't necessarily have to, you might not necessarily know that, but I know that because I've made this type of fun fold card before. But if you measure this one, it measures 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. So this part right here on the front of Joyce's fun fold card was actually the piece she cut off from her 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock. So let's do that first. That's just one of those, what do you want to call it? Like, kind of like tricks of the trade that you learn after making so many cards or making a certain type of fun fold, that sort of thing. So I'm going to cut this to 4 1/4 inches by 11. In fact, we can leave that second one out here and we'll make 2 cards at once. And then you want to flip or turn your cardstock, and you're going to score at 5 1/2. So you can see right now that this is going to start with a standard size card base. From there, I'm going to go ahead and cut off 2 3/4 inches of cardstock from one side. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see now how the base of Joyce Wilhelm's card was made? And this becomes that front piece, that piece I cut off, and you can see it's the same size as hers. I'm going to set this up here for now. Let's go ahead and put our piece of white, well, no, we're not going to do that because she made hers a little bit differently than I've made mine in the past. So I want to do it her way. So now we have to decide on the print for the front, or the print of the side of the DSP we want to show. Any preferences? I'm not loving the polka dots for this one. Yeah, that's all right. So this is a wood grain, and then this I really kind of like. It's got familiar words: to love what we do and share what we love. That's part of the Stampin' Up! Mission statement. Or we call it the statement of the heart. It's equal to a mission statement, but we call it the statement of the heart. But it's got that line, and then in the other languages that we serve, our country or our company serves throughout the world. So I think I'm going to go with this side for now. So I'm going to cut this so that it's 4 inches. And then this flap, as well as this, both of these measure 4 1/4 inches by 2 3/4. So this piece for my top flap, I want to be 4 inches by 2 1/2. And that will give me a nice border of that Granny Apple Green cardstock all the way around. Should set this here. So you can see that front flap now. And then Joyce cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock, basic white. It's probably going to take me several months before I get that out of my head. Basic white cardstock, the same size, so 4 inches by 2 1/2. Now, one thing you could do, and I've made this, you've seen me make this fun fold card this way. Use your Whisper White just like that, and then you build up the front. Like I said, I received this card from my friend Joyce Wilhelm, so I want to make it just like she did. So I'm going to cut my basic white cardstock to 2 1/2 inches, and that will go on the left inside. And then I would measure the DSP, and this measures 2 3/4 by 4. So you can see as I go step by step, when I'm casing a card that I've received in the mail, it's super simple because I just measure all the pieces and parts on that card. So let me adhere both of these. Actually, I'm not going to adhere that white one just yet. Maybe I'll just put a tiny bit of adhesive on so I can secure it in place so we can see how it looks, but just a tiny bit to hold it in place. But I'm not sure yet if I'm going to stamp on the inside of this card or not. So that's why I don't want to put too much adhesive on it. So there's the base with that left flap. And now we can build the front. This measures 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. So I need my white piece to measure 4 inches, which it already does, by 2.5. So the same piece, or same size as this piece of DSP and the white I just put on the inside of my card. That will go just like this. Notice Joyce has, I believe that's a 1/2 inch strip. Yes, 1/2 inch by 4 inch strip of DSP. And I'm going to do that, but I'm going to use the reverse side of the DSP that I've already cut. So it's very likely that she cut the same piece. Actually, mine's 3 1/4. Maybe I'll make it a little narrower like hers. Okay. Hers must be 5/8 because it's a little wider than this, but more narrow than the 3/4 inch piece I had. I'll just set that right across the bottom. Let's look at our sentiments in the set. Hello, happy birthday, get well soon, happy Mother's Day, happy Easter, happy spring, happy everything. Oh, that's fun, isn't it? I might use that for my Easter cards. What a beautiful difference one single life makes. I love that. How great is that for a Mother's Day card? And then this one, may the memories of yesterday comfort you today. That's really special too. What do you think? What should I make? I'm trying to think, what do I need right now? I definitely could use that one right now. Happy birthday, hello, always. Unfortunately, my mom has passed on, but I do know lots of great moms, so do send some Mother's Day cards, and I get well soon. I think I'll go with this one. May the memories of yesterday comfort you today. Fortunately, it's a photopolymer set, which makes stamping sentiments straight and have them looking nice and neat. Makes it easy. And I'm deciding, should I stamp in green or the Gorgeous Grape? I think I'm going to stamp with the Gorgeous Grape. See how that easy that is to get your sentiments straight with your photopolymer sets. I love it. Okay, now I know for sure that I'm just going to use this inside piece to write a note. So I'm going to add some more adhesive there, since I know for sure now that I won't be stamping on the inside of that card, this card. All right, I think I'm ready to go ahead and adhere this basic white cardstock to the Granny Apple Green. And then I will center this on the front of the card and adhere it. Please keep in mind, you know what I'm gonna say, I'm sure you do, but I'm putting that reminder out anyways. Make sure that you are only putting adhesive on the left side of this. And I'm going to show you a trick. I'm going to put it on the left edge of the piece I'm adhering down, and then I'm going to put it on the right edge of my flap, just making sure I don't go too high or too low with it. So now I know for sure I have plenty of adhesive on, and that adhesive is right where I need it to be and exactly where I don't need it to be. Now we're ready to put some tulips on. And there's a couple ways we can do this. You can, here it is. I was gonna say, what happened to my white I just had out? There's a couple ways we can do this. You can stamp and punch with your builder punch, your tulip builder punch. And I'm going to stamp a couple of the leaves in the Granny Apple Green. These colors are so bright and fun. I think that somebody else said that. Kathy Prumlish says they're such cheery colors. So true. Anything in that Brights collection, many of the subtles, same thing, just bright and cheerful and happy colors. Does anybody have the Timeless Tulip stamp set or the Tulip Builder Punch? Oh, it's getting stuck in the back there for some reason. There we go. I want to show you something because this is a photopolymer set, and I just cut extra leaves just because I can, and I might use them. Because this is a photopolymer set, you can easily stamp that white leaf. Ooh, I like that. But I feel like I need maybe some more of the tulips. So I'm going to stamp and punch 2 more of them. I guess I should have gone this direction. Oh, Sharon, you have it and you love it? Awesome. Tammy, you're funny. Now I think you think you're saying, now I think I need it. And Tammy, you and Beth have gorgeous gardens. And if you people need a friend who can teach you about gardening or just giving you some gardening and landscaping tips, my friend Tammy Allen, who's watching, can certainly help you with that. And she's north of Cincinnati. There, just punch some extras. I'm just thinking I like to layer things. So maybe that 2 looks better than 3. I could even, yeah. 2 looks better than 1, and 3 looks better than 2 to me. All right, let's do this. I'm excited. Oh, now I'm really feeling spring fever. Anybody else? And if it snows tomorrow, I'm sorry, but I'm doing it anyways. This one I'm going to pop up with some dimensionals. Now I'm excited to show you the wreath on my front door. Tammy Ellen, I'm not too kind. I'm just telling the truth. You do amazing things in your yard. Maybe I want this one back here. I think I'm going to tuck this one in the back. So I'm going to lift this up just a little bit like that. When I'm tucking pieces, stamped pieces behind other pieces, a lot of times, especially with leaves, I do this. I just put on 1 or 2 glue dots and just adhere that part that's tucked underneath. Oops, I'm a little bit off my card there. That's the problem. I don't want to, oops, and I'm picking up the, I just don't want to go so far over the edge of my card that it won't fit in the envelope. So let me adjust this as best I can. And maybe that's not going to happen there. There we go. That's better. The last thing I want is to finish a card and then have it not fit in my envelope correctly. These could also be, you know, these could be petals also. Can you picture this? Putting, stamping some in the same color as my tulip and layering them on top. But honestly, they could serve lots of different functions. And then I'm going to put one here on this side as well. In fact, this one I might just have kind of falling down like that. Just add a little bit of interest there. Not sure if I like that or not. You know what? I think I like this better. Kind of up behind it. That is a fun thing about tulips. There's always so many leaves surrounding the beautiful tulips. There, I like that. Although I do feel like, do I want another flower there? I feel like I want another flower here. Okay, now I'm just going crazy with my spring fever issues. Don't laugh. I know you're probably feeling it too. I have a feeling I'm not alone. And the other thing I want to do right here is, and I'm going to use a scrap of DSP to do it. I'm just going to cut, I'm trying to think, how do I want to do this? I just want to cut kind of a, I don't want it too curvy. I just want a little stem without having to really punch one. Does that make sense? And most tulip stems are fairly straight or just have a gentle curve to them. It just feels like it needs something down here. So that it doesn't look like my tulips are just floating in the air. And then look at this, I can add another leaf. I think I want it the other side though. And then punching a leaf or two from the DSP adds a little bit of, what do I want to say? Just gives you some different tones of the greens. So I like that. So I've got some lighter and darker tones of the granny apple green because some of the leaves are stamped and punched and some are punched right from my DSP. Okay, I think I like this a lot. Let me just tuck this leaf in. I didn't put dimensionals on this leaf because there's already dimensionals on that tulip as well. There, that looks pretty. I think I'll do another leaf at the top though. I just keep adding to this. It was going to be one tulip, and now I've got a bouquet of tulips. But I like it. Does that ever happen to you? You're creating, you have something in mind, you have a vision, and then by the time you're finished, it's looking a little different than you originally had planned. Actually, I'd love to pull this up higher, but I'm not sure I can pull that up. Oh, I can. I can pull it up a little higher. That's a good reason not to overuse your adhesives, because if you decide you want to rearrange something, you can if you haven't used too much adhesive. There. Okay, I like that better. Just a little bit higher on that top tulip. What do you think? Pretty good? Okay, let's make a second card. And this time I will change out the sentiment, but I'm not going to stamp the leaves and the tulips. I'm just going to punch them. So we'll go back to our, move things around here. We will go back to our first card base. And you probably remember it's 4 1/4 by 11 inches. I'm going to score it at 5 1/2 inches and then cut off 2 3/4 from one end. Oh, Amy, you like it? Great. Pam says beautiful. Pam, I'm glad you're here. Happy Monday. Tammy says great effect by mixing a couple of different tones of the green. Let's now make something even more colorful by using, let's punch. And there are lots of designer series papers that you can use, but look at this. When you have this wood grain pattern of DSP, look what it does to your tulip. It kind of gives you some veins and some dimension to that. Isn't that fun? And look at this. You can add some even more dimension with punching, where am I? I'm looking for my little, here it is. No, this is not the new paper, Pam. This is what we already have in our annual catalog for the color families. But look, you can just add that. You could even put it behind, but I want to add mine to the front. Just creating a little more dimension on that tulip. So I wanted to show you that. But we have lots of wonderful, this is the Brights collection, Marion. Yes, these colors are all from the Brights. But we have many, many, not just the Color Family DSP collections, but lots of other, decide where I want that. Lots of other designer series papers that would also give you that nice effect. I'll put it right there. So my point is, you can layer, you can move things around. Flowers are not perfect. They're all perfect in their own way because they're all unique. That's just the way nature is, the way God intended, and the way I love it. But look what happens when we make a bouquet of several colors of the tulips. All right, so we know we need 2 pieces of basic white that measure 4 inches by 2.5. So I'm going to cut those now, and then I'll cut my DSP as well, so we can put our card together. And let's once again use some Granny Apple Green DSP. I'll choose a different pattern though. And this, I need 4 inches by 2.5 for the outer flap. And then I need 4 inches by 2 3/4 for the inside of the card. And then I have a strip left over that I can play with also. Oh, so many papers. Let me get some of this out of the way. Diane, you just made my day to know that you are sitting there smiling and feeling good as we create with all these pretty colors. I think we all needed that today. I've been awfully blue this winter, so it's helping. So the Today Show is really pretty much all the news I watch. And I choose to watch that because they throw in lots of happy news along with all the yucky news. But on Friday, Al Roker walked to work. And of course they had cameramen and staff following him and recording his thoughts and whatever. And then they had various anchor people from their affiliates around the country also walking to work that day, and they've started a March challenge called #TakeAWalkToday, with the word today being in capital letters. And I was like, okay, I need a push. I need some motivation. I need a kick in the butt. So right after this Facebook Live, I'm starting day 1 of my 31 days of March walking. So if you need a little push or motivation, sign on to do it with me. You don't have to walk long or far or whatever. It's just about getting out and walking and getting some exercise and enjoying the fresh air every day on a consistent basis. So I know I really need that push. So I'm going for it. I'm going for it. All right, this time I think I'll stamp a happy birthday. We always need those. And I have to say I'm guilty because I do not send enough birthday cards. I really don't. I'm great at sending thank yous. I'm great at sending thinking of you and sympathy. But I am not, I just don't send enough birthday cards. How's that? Pretty good. All right. I think this time I will use the polka dot side of the DSP. I'll put it for that stripe. And let's go ahead and put the centerpiece on our card, and then we'll add our little bouquet of tulips to brighten somebody's day. Again, do you remember the trick I showed you for adhering to the flap? You just want to do the left edge of the piece you're adhering and then the right edge of the flap. And that will give you just the right amount of adhesive and ensure that the adhesive is only where you need it to be and not where it shouldn't be. So now I'm ready to add my tulips in layers here. I can pick that one up. I think I will add these with, keep laying things down and I don't know where I'm putting them. So I'll start a new sheet of dimensionals, which is not a problem because you know I'm using those every day and they do get used up. Sometimes I look over and I have 4 or 5 different sheets of dimensionals started. But yes, I'm going to be working on better health. Marion, I wish we lived closer too. In fact, I really need a walking partner. And I even thought it doesn't even have to be the same person every day. But I thought I would put out a notice on my neighborhood Facebook group that I need some walking partners, and if they can walk on a particular day and time, to let me know, and we can do it together. All right, of course we need to add some leaves, so let's do that now. I don't know that I want to use the same wood grain pattern for the leaves because I want the leaves to stand out a little more from the flower blossoms. And I'm just punching several of the leaves because I don't know if I'll use 3 or 5. Again, thank you for accommodating me today with a different time. Oh, I think that's kind of fun. If I do say so myself, right? Oh, Michelle, you were using this yesterday. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm reading Pam's question. If you turn, say, the yellow paper over and punch a leaf, would it fit the other side like the first one you punched out? Yes. If you're doing it, well, I think this is what you mean. And I'll punch it with the yellow just so it stands out more. But I think what you're asking is, okay, you can punch and it comes out one direction and you can layer it here. You're talking about the tulip up here. Yes, you could punch from the opposite side and then it would layer that way. So in other words, I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull this up. Yes, I can pull this up. So in other words, you're saying by me flipping this over, so here's the first one. Let me just punch another one. So if I punch it this way, I get the wood grain on this side and it fits the left part of my tulip. I'm going to put this on dimensional so we see it a little better. And then we would punch another leaf or petal, but this time we would flip our designer series paper over so that when I flip it back to the wood grain side, it does fit just like that. So let me pop this up as well. Things are popping up on my computer screen. Okay, yes, all right, we're talking the same language, Pam. We're on the same page now. Yes, you're absolutely right. You can do that. Now, it doesn't work quite so well when you're stamping, of course, because it stamps one direction. You could also, if you wanted then, to tuck a piece down inside there if you wanted, or just trim out the other part of the tulip. But look what happens when I put it back here. It adds so much dimension to your project just by doing that. Great idea, Pam. Great idea. Oh, Sue Thomas is joining in. Great idea, Pam. Yes. You could even say, for example, you don't necessarily have to put 2 on each tulip to get some dimension. Here's another trick, and this is something I do often. You can see that my Gorgeous Grape tulip is already up on dimensionals. So instead of making it too high, building up too many layers with dimensionals, dimensionals will go through the mail fine, but you just don't want to be building them so high that you're making your cards super thick. But say, for example, like on here, the glue dot is not going to give me as much dimension as I want. But if you do 2 glue dots, one on top of the other, oops, you get a little more dimension than just adhering your piece, but it's not as thick and it's not as high as using your dimensionals. So just something I do every once in a while because I do want it to stand up and be noticed, but I don't want it so high that it gets a little, I don't even know what is the word, obnoxious for mailing. Okay, you don't want to have 3 and 4 layers of dimensionals on there. We can, where's my, here it is. Now we can do the same thing here and just flip it around. And put some dimensional on the right side of this particular tulip. And again, if you don't want it too terribly thick, by adding a whole nother layer of dimensionals, layer 2 glue dots. Sort of a happy medium, I'll say. It's a happy medium. But yes, many people, and Pam, thank you for your question, because I think many people overlook the fact that these what we think of as the leaves can also be petals to make your own tulip. I'll put that one there. And in fact, we're going to do the same thing with some of these petals or the leaves. We're going to do the same thing with some of these leaves because if I turn my leaf over, I'm getting that wood grain, and I don't want to use the same print for leaves that I'm using for the flowers themselves. So that means I need to go back and punch some more. So that when I flip it over, then my leaf will be going the way I want it to. Not that things like that are perfect, but you get it. And then instead of a stem or something here, how about a bow? Let me grab some ribbon. Oh, look at this. You are going to love this. Okay, my first thought was the white with the silver, white satin with the silver. But look at this. Okay, this is super elegant. You know what? We're going to put a bow on both of these. I'm going to use this one, just make a little bow from this ribbon. And this ribbon, the Gorgeous Grape sheer ribbon, can be found in the January-June mini catalog in the Hydrangea Suite, Hydrangea Hill Suite, I believe it's called. And I could put that right with my bouquet. I could put it off to the side. I think I'll put it with my bouquet. I think you all know my tip for adhering bows. Just use a single glue dot on the back of the knot of your bow and put it just wherever you want. Ooh, I think that is lovely. And then I think I'll use the white with the silver edge. It's white satin ribbon with a silver metallic edge for the other bow. Oh, I also talked on the phone with one of my aunts yesterday when I was driving to Cincinnati to see Emily. We talked for an hour on the phone. I also talked to a friend for a half hour. I used to, when my mom was still living, if I had a fairly long drive, I would use some of that time to call her and we could have, you know, I obviously talked to her other times, but a lot of times our lengthy conversations were when I'd be driving in the car, because I can do that hands-free. And so it seems like that's a time that I really miss my mom, but it's nice that I have some aunts, some of her sisters still that I can call. So that made it a nice drive, especially because it was raining. It was dark and rainy when I was driving to Cincinnati yesterday. But it was worth it to see my girl. How's that? What do you think? I love them both. What do you think? Do you have a preference? Do you like the one with the 3 different colors of tulips the best? Or do you like all of the Gorgeous Grape tulips together? I should point out too, in the stamp set, Emily is doing great. Marion, thanks so much for asking. Thanks so much. She's doing great. She works really hard, but she is loving her physical therapy program, and she just needs to finish up this semester, and then May 10th, she starts her final year in the program. One thing I wanted to point out, we were talking about layering. There are other smaller tulip buds and a smaller tulip bloom, as well as some other leaves and stems, which you can use for layering and stamping. you can't punch these out, but these would be very easy to fussy cut if you would choose to do that. So somebody says they like both. A couple people say they like both. Leah's saying she likes the 3 different color tulips best. Amy says she likes the second one best. Sue says hard to choose just one. I'm with you, Sue. At first I think, ooh, I love this. Maybe because that was my vision. That's what I had in mind. Although it started out being a single tulip and became a bouquet of tulips. But then when I made this one, I thought, oh, maybe I like the tricolor bouquet of tulips. So yes, definitely a hard choice. But let's do this. Since it's a hard choice, how about if I give away both cards today? It's one of those, what I call Mondays, where it's just been a difficult start to the week and I don't know, just a Monday. So instead of giving away one card today, I'm going to give away both of them. I'll take some photos to have those for my blog post later this week. But I think we could all use a pick-me-up. So I'm going to go ahead and give away both cards today. So if you have not commented, be sure to comment. If you have commented and you want to comment again, please do, because the more times you comment and share, the more times your name goes into the hat for the drawing of these cards, okay? Thank you for being a part of my day. Just having you here has brightened my day, and I appreciate that so much. I hope that you being here, I've been able to bring some happiness and sunshine to your day as well. I will see you, let me think here. Next, I'll be live, I think on Wednesday at 8. However, the Westerville Central High School, where my youngest niece is a senior and a cheerleader, they've made it to the next round of basketball playoffs. Tickets are hard to come by with the whole COVID thing. I haven't been able to go to a game this year, and she said she would try. They have very limited tickets. But if I can't go to the game, she did say there's a way for me to live stream the game through the school. So I may or may not be on at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. But I promise you, when I get on next, you are going to enjoy the project I have for you. Thanks for being here, and I will see you soon. I'm going to put my walking/running shoes on and head on outside. Have a great day and enjoy the sunshine wherever you are.